All right, so boys and girls, here we are. How's everybody doing on this fantastic Tuesday? This is Shawn White coming back to you here live here in my living room in Atlanta, Georgia. Before we go ahead and get started with day two, special shout outs as far as to Coach Steve Cribder. That was an excellent as far as coaching group. And yeah, that's an amazing community. So that's going to be fantastic. And once again, I definitely do appreciate you. Hoping that everybody is really enjoying themselves. And also just to make sure if anybody can hear me, I forgot I got me on Bluetooth. So let me just make sure that you beautiful people can hear me. I was like, whoa, okay, here we go. Can everybody hear me now? Can you hear me now? If you can, please let me know if the volume is pretty good or if it's too low. And I almost totally forgot to. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for hopping on. I totally forgot to, as far as that I had this on Bluetooth. So, actually, let me go ahead and do this. Let me just take the Bluetooth feature out. Okay. Is that a lot better, guys? Can you hear me a lot better? Okay. Perfect. You can hear me fine. So, guys, let me go ahead and jump into it because I have class later on this evening. So for those that's hopping on, put in hashtag live, let me know where you're tuning in from, and of course on the replay, go ahead and do the same thing. Sarah, thank you so much for hopping on, and hey, special shout outs to Sarah. Congratulations, by the way. See, I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. I'm just so glad, and I'm happy for you as well. So I know as far as that client is definitely going to love you. I know it. So, boys and girls, let's go ahead and jump into day two. Day one was pretty awesome. And today, we're just going to go ahead and move forward with that. So, on day two's quote, in which I have my notes as well, so I just want to go ahead and jump into this. And day two quote, it says, "I don't care how many have failed before me, they are not me." So, we're going to go ahead and talk about that because that is something that is all about resilience. And we were speaking about that yesterday as far as with day one. So if you didn't see day one that was yesterday, please feel free to go down my page and take a look at that. So when I think about that, it's more so in which understand too that this entrepreneur journey, I believe one of the things that what a lot of people are afraid of is that by becoming an entrepreneur, one of the things in which that they don't want to embrace is actually a couple of things. One, it's no, and two, failure. Because honestly, who wants to fail, right? Who wants to be considered as a failure? Nobody. Nobody in their right mind wants to be considered as a failure. We want to consider that anything that we touch, we can be a smashing success. But with entrepreneurship, that's not really how it works. When you're going for the mark, when you are very career oriented, like I mentioned yesterday, doesn't work like that, right? Success is pretty much, it has a whole bunch of twists and turns, and failure is just all a part of the journey. So one of the things in which that I got from this quote and which really resonated with me, Jose, welcome, my brother. Thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. But one of the quotes in which that I got from this, or one of the points rather, is that it is human nature as far as to get discouraged due to other people's failures. I mean, just think about it, right? That if I'm gonna just go ahead and throw an industry out, right? Let's say, for instance, if you decide to get in digital sales, right? And you hear as far as like maybe on Google or maybe from YouTube about a particular company, direct sales, excuse me, and you've seen all these bad reviews, bad comments, people saying, oh, I tried this before and, it didn't work and I was in it for 6 months and things went south, or, my family members or my friends or even some of my colleagues told me that as far as they tried it, right, and it just didn't work. You're like, well, sure, well, if it didn't work for you, and why in the heck would I want to do it, right? So it's more so of the association thing. Because of the fact, human nature, we don't want to get discouraged, right? It's like, no. So because of that, we get immediately discouraged. So with that, when you adopt this philosophy, you have to kind of reverse engineer it and say more so, okay, well, I understand as far as with people were having their different opinions or views about it. But if I was to reverse engineer it, it's more so, how can I look at this as a lesson? Because what I've learned to understand in my 8 years in is that, and Lakeisha, welcome, thank you so much for hopping on, is that failure is only feedback. I'm going to say that again, guys. Failure is only feedback. Because think about it. If you're successful in just about every single thing that you do, then how can you learn? How can you learn? Think about it, guys. If you're in school and if you're the type of individual that pretty much did everything perfect, everything exceptional, you got 100s from the time you was in public school all the way you got to college, right? I mean, everything just went your way, and it was just 100%, 100% or 100%, right? We consider them as far as like honor students, right? But let me ask you a question. Who do you think really learned more? Was it from the person that got 100s from the time they was in public school all the way up through college? Or was it the individual that pretty much failed a lot, but they got a lot of feedback, in which that they learned through those failures on how to improve and how to make it better and how to make it better, and then again on how to make it better? I ask you that question, right? Who would you be able to learn from yourself? So I want you to really hold on to that. And also too, because our minds are so wired to keep us safe and sound, so it's very easy for us to be like, well, shoot, if they done did that and they done failed, then subconsciously, because our subconscious minds pretty much want to keep us safe and sound and want to keep us as far as like in that known or pain versus pleasure, right? It's like, shoot, it's best to stay over here, right? Because I know about this, and it's better for me to not even try, right, than for me to go ahead and try. And then possibility that I will fail, because that'll be hurtful, that'll be painful. I don't know about that other side. And but a lot of people, quite frankly, they don't even want to go on that side because it's so painful. So when you really adopt this, like I mentioned earlier before in the video, really understanding that it's not so much of the failure aspect, but just really understanding that whatever you decide to do, whether it's coaching, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether it's health and wellness, but just knowing, understanding that yes, there's going to be many people that's going to try and fail, right? Many people that try and fail, but you want to be one of those that, stand the test of time. It's almost more so of running a race, right? And I said this before, and I'll say it again, is that this journey that you're on, it's not a sprint, right? It's not a sprint at all, but it is a marathon. And it does take, as far as, mental resilience, it does take as far as like just a certain kind of stubbornness, I guess, if you will, right? And just really having that tenacity to just say, I don't care how many people have actually failed, but that won't be me. And that won't be you. Why? Because ultimately, it comes down to a decision. And I can go with a few more points, guys, but since, for the sake of time, because I had to jump on class, so I just want to make one final point, and that recognize this, that failure is a part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. Because you have to fail in order to know as far as on what you're not doing correctly, make that improvement, pivot, right? So that way you can set yourself up on the right path to get to your goals or manifest your dreams more so quicker, right? And more so better. And that, I believe, as far as is the ultimate goal with each and every single one of us that decides to become an entrepreneur. But you get up, when you understand that failure is part of the journey, it actually frees you up as well, because now when you understand, like, okay, well, shoot, since I know that failure is part of the journey, okay, I will go ahead and do a Facebook Live. And guess what? If I'm expecting 50 people, but maybe only 2 people showing up, you may look at that as a sign of failure. And it's like, okay, well, hey, I expected 50, only 2 showed up. Okay, cool. I can serve those 2 people and give them my all. Or you can say, well, you know what? I'm going to create that course, right? And I'm expecting, let's say, for instance, to average about 2,000 a week, but maybe you only get about 1,500 or even 1,000 a week. Okay, great. To others, that may seem like a failure, but it's part of the journey, because what you're doing is that you're getting feedback and you're saying, okay, well, I didn't reach that mark, but what worked and what can I improve on? Right? And that's the reason why I highly recommend mentorship and coaching as well, because having a mentor or coach is more so of a guide, and they can help you with that. And also, by me being a part of this coaching program, is going to allow for me as far as to go ahead and recognize certain blind spots in which that I have, and also learn more additional skills, and thus to be able to help serve my clients and take them on a much deeper level, to help them get to where they're trying to get on a more faster scale, if that makes sense. So in closing, guys, I'm going to leave you with this. And something for you I really want you to go ahead and think about is that having an attitude, right? Having an attitude that if everyone around you drop out, right? Having an attitude that if everyone around you drop out, you will still be standing. You will still be here. Because the reality is this. In entrepreneurship, people go, businesses change, compensation plans change, things happen. Life is always changing, always rapidly, right? It's just inevitable. But wouldn't it be cool through all that, through all the ups and downs and different companies and concepts and the latest new gadget or toy or platform, but yet guess what? Melissa is still here, Sarah is still here, Jade is still here. Isn't that something? Yeah. Just want you guys to think about that. So in closing, guys, I appreciate each and every single last one of you. Also, if you haven't known before, I am a part of, as far as an entertainment firm, which is called Mubo Entertainment, and we're looking for those as far as that would love as far as to take their business and careers as far as the next level through the power of media, entertainment, and also on TV as well. If this is something that interests you, and of course if you want more information, more details on that, by all means please feel free to reach out to me, or if you have my personal contact number, you know how to connect with me. And also, if you don't have a coach, but you would like to, as far as see and say, well, hey, you know what, Shawn, I like everything that you're talking about. I have certain, I'm not going to say issues, but I have something within me, right? I know I have a calling, I know I have a special skill set, but I just need a guide, right? I'm kind of stuck on certain things, and, hey, I would love to just go ahead and just speak with you and see as far as on what, you can do for me. If that sounds like you, by all means, let's go ahead and connect and have a quick, 15-minute discovery call, and let's see if we're a mutual fit with each other. So, all right, guys, I think, let me see here. Oh, yeah, I definitely got to go. So, that's pretty much all my time. I appreciate each and every single last one of you. If you got a lot out of this, please do me a favor. Please go ahead and like and share. And on that note, day 2 is a wrap. And if what I stated on this live either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, and may God be the glory, ladies and gentlemen. I take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you're all amazing. Gotta go, guys. I gotta get ready for class. Stay tuned as far as for day 3. My honor, by His grace and mercy. Thank you all. Have a good evening.